Hi, today we're going to learn how to create cellular structures. So we're going to learn how to design one, apply it, give it different densities, and then apply it to a mesh, to an object. We're going to do this using the commands vtile, vgrow, and vmesh. So let's see how it works. So the command we're going to be using is the vtile. It's the first one of the green ones. And the way this thing works is that you need to have your cell that define in an area, in a volume, and then apply this cell in a larger volume. So let's say, for example, we have this thing, our cell, our design, right? We choose vtile, we choose the volume, and it appears this plane, which is the 0 of our cell. And now we can use it, change it. Now we need to define the area, the space that this cell uses. Okay, we select it, and now we choose the space that we want our cellular structure. So this can be as big as you want, it doesn't matter, right? So here it is, and we just created our cellular structure starting from the cell. In this case, is a union of two torus. So, and because the cell is made with a torus, we can change the parameters of the torus. We could make them thicker, and now everything is thicker, or edit something, position, anything we want. So also because it's a union, we could change this union to a blend union, and this would make everything smoother, right? Make the whole cellular structure smoother. So okay, let's see how we would go if we wanted to create our own cell. So let's start, for example, within Rhino, creating some planes, just something like this, one here, one there. And also keep in mind that whatever cell we create, we need to design it in a way that it connects when you replicate it, right? So in all 6 directions. So let's add something else here. Okay, yeah, one more. Good. So that this is going to be our cell, but of course this is designed in Rhino, right? So we need to first, to turn it into a volume, first this needs to be a mesh. To be a mesh, we can use the mesh command within Rhino and just apply it. Good. So now, because this is an unconnected mesh, to turn it into volume, we're going to use the vmesh command, and we're going to choose the envelope, right? So we choose our faces, we choose envelope, and this will create a volume, a constant volume around all the faces. Let's say 0.2. And here it is. That's our cell. Good. So now we do the same as before. We create the vtile. We choose vtile, we select our object, our cell, accept the plane, which is the 0, and now we choose the area of this cell, the boundaries of this cell. Can easily do it choosing the vertices. And now we choose where we want this cell to propagate and create our cellular structure. Done. We did it. So that's it. We just created a cellular structure starting from our cell. So look at this, all this detail and complexity. So also now here we can change things, right? So we can change the values of our envelope. So if we make it thicker, so it becomes more dense, or let's say 0.5, it gets a nice thing. So also you notice that this renders, when you move, it starts to ray trace it. This is because it's calculating a huge amount of data now. let's say we have this cellular structure and we want to apply different densities in different areas of this structure. So first we would need to create our tool, so we need to define where we want different densities. So we create a box at the bottom. Okay, and now of course this box we need to turn it into a mesh, and then the mesh into a volume. So now we have the mesh. Good. Apply vMesh again, and in this case we choose volume. And that's it. Get rid of the mesh, we don't need it anymore. And here it is. So to apply different densities, we're going to use the command vgrow. The way vgrow works, it grows the volume constantly, unless you choose a bonding volume. So in this case, we want our box to be the bonding. So this means that our volume will grow only in the area that is within this bonding volume. So we choose the displacement and the influence, okay, and it's done. So we, as you can see here, we grew our cellular structure. As you can see, the blend volume is how much it grows, and the influence is where this growing starts. So if we put 20, we're going to have a more gradual, so it goes from normal to +1 growing, but in a distance of 20. So that's, in this way we achieve this gradient. And of course, because the bonding volume is this box, if we move it, we are moving this growth. Right? So now in this case, we put it in the center, and we see that our structure grows only in the center. And we have this gradient. Beautiful. Now we design our own cell, we created a cellular structure, and we give it different density. So let's say that now we want to apply it to something that we design in Rhino. So in this case, this is something that we made, so we turn it into a mesh. And then this mesh, again, using the command vmesh, we turn it into a volume. And that's it. So we get rid of the mesh, and now we have this volume and the cellular structure on the other side. Good. So now what we need to do is an intersection. We select them both, and we do the v-intersect. And this will apply our structure in the volume that we choose. That's good. So I'm going to show you something even better. So now that we have all these things, we could just replace this volume for something else and apply this same cellular structure to another mesh. Let's import something in Rhino, import a mesh. Okay, and here is it. So we place our mesh within the boundaries of our structure. Here it is. So now we have our mesh here, and what we need to do is we look for the volume that contains our cellular structure, which is this one, in this case the 53A, and then we just choose change source, and then this will automatically apply whatever was inside this volume into the new mesh. We get rid of the mesh because we don't need it, and that's it. Here it is. Good. So we have our own design the cellular structure, different densities applied to a newly imported mesh. And of course, now if we move our bounding box, this V-grow bounding volume, we move it, then we are changing where the density applies, in the top or in the bottom or wherever we want it. Now we have our mesh with the cellular structure. So what about if we want something on top? So we want to maintain our mesh, right? So that's easy. So we take our volume, the volume that contains the cellular structure, we duplicate it, and now here if we right click it, instead of a volume, we can turn it into a shell. Right? So we choose the thickness. So let's put 2. And now this creates a continuous shell of 2 units all around our object. So outside is perfect and inside has the cellular structure. Good. So let's cut it so we see from inside. So let's create a box, and then select our volume, and then we subtract this box that we just created. And here it is. Here we see it from the inside. So that's it. That's how we create it. Good. So we learned how to design a cell, how to create a cellular structure using the V-tile, and then we apply variable density using the vgrow command, and then we apply the cellular structure into a mesh, into a volume. Right? And then we use the mesh shell to create the outside. I hope you like it.